It is the 4th of July, this 2016. I am Ralph Turchiano, and I'm here to cover with you the top 3 health headlines of the past 7 days as usual. These 3 are very, very compelling. Starting off with number 1. Prenatal exposure to acetaminophen may increase autism spectrum and hyperactivity symptoms in children by 30%. Comparing persistently to non-exposed children, the study has found an increase of 30% in the risk of detriment to some attention functions and an increase of 2 clinical symptoms of autism spectrum symptoms in boys. And the researchers hypothesized why acetaminophen may cause the problem, particularly in boys, is as follows. First of all, it relieves pain by acting on cannabinoid receptors in the brain. Sound familiar? Since these receptors normally help determine how neurons mature and connect with one another, paracetamol, form of acetaminophen, could alter these important processes. It could also affect the development of the immune system or be directly toxic to some fetuses that may not have the same capacity as an adult to metabolize this drug, or by creating oxidative stress. Story number 2. USF professor, actually more than just the professor. No association between bad cholesterol and elderly deaths. Going right into the meat of the research. A University of South Florida professor and an international team of experts have found that older people with high levels of a certain type of cholesterol, all of you familiar with LDL, live as long and often longer than their peers with low levels of this same cholesterol. Counterintuitive to what you normally hear on TV commercials. We've found that several studies reported not only a lack of association between low LDL, but most people in these studies exhibited an inverse relationship, which means the higher the LDL among the elderly was often associated with longer life. The findings, which came after analyzing past studies involving more than 68,000 participants over 60 years of age, appears this month in the online British Medical Journal, for those who want to review. Story number 3. Chronic fatigue syndrome is in your gut, not your head. Which the researchers are trying to imply is they just can no longer stand the folklore in regard to chronic fatigue syndrome being seen as a psychological condition. But into the research. Our work demonstrates that the gut bacterial microbiome in chronic fatigue syndrome patients is not normal, perhaps leading to gastrointestinal and inflammatory symptoms in victims of the disease. The researcher goes on to say, furthermore, this is their quote, not mine, our detection of a biological abnormality provides further evidence against the ridiculous concept that this disease is psychological in origin. Overall, diversity of types of bacteria is greatly reduced, and there were fewer bacterial species known to be anti-inflammatory in ME/CFS patients compared with healthy people. An observation also seen in people with Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. At the same time, the researchers discovered specific markers of inflammation in the blood, likely due to a leaky gut from intestinal problems that allow the bacteria to enter the blood. Those are the top 3 health headlines of the last 7 days. And as always, it always helps if you give a like or a share, because it raises the possibility or the probability that this compelling information may fall or lead to the right people. Again, this is Ralph Turchiano signing off. And as always, I greatly, greatly appreciate you listening. See you all next week. Catch you then. Bye.